batsman keeper for an out-and-out bowling all-rounder?
Yeah, it is a slight surprise, I think, just from the batting perspective. Normally what you have with Mumbai, as Joy was touching on, how strong their middle order is, normally all of them are on pretty good touch. And you bat way down and they can have a big impact. I know Coulter now can play a part at the back end. I mean, he's no mug, and he's won a few games where he strikes it like that. But I think it's maybe dictated to by the surface and the fact that he is one of those guys who's tall, he runs and he hits back of a length. And as I mentioned earlier, I always felt when I played at Delhi, even in my playing days, that if people were back of a length and straight, it would almost skid onto you and keep low and could be quite difficult to get away. So maybe that's the route they're going, just covering their bases from a bowling perspective. But unfortunately, it's the nature of this tournament. Ishan Kishan was brilliant last year, has struggled to get going. And we see it in countless opportunities where if people don't grab their chance, don't make a score, don't show what they're capable of early, you've got squads, you've got guys sitting on the bench, chomping to get an opportunity. And unfortunately for him, it's gone against him. I think it is a blow because the two left-handers were in such good touch last year, weren't they? They were really good. And I mean, he even earned his Indian call-up through the way he played in that RPL. And it's also a nice predicament to have with regards to the left-hander, right-hander combinations at the crease for much of the time, which obviously they lose with one of them coming out. But he hasn't managed to get the runs. He struggled in Chennai. So he'll be disappointed. But invariably, when you've lost and you haven't played to your full potential, there's always the chance that you're going to tinker with a team.
Yeah, we'll have a look at his numbers, Joy. But do you reckon this is a bit of a stand in the corner kind of move like Manish Pandey?
Yeah, I'm surprised because, do this very often. He's had outstanding numbers for them last year. First thing I was thinking about is he fully fit? And of course, we have no word on it, but I don't think in the toss the captain has said that there's any fitness issue with him at all. So that's why I find it interesting, because he is, for whatever it's worth, they've reduced their batting order. And whether you like it or not, what they're probably saying is on a surface like this, where they think the ball might travel and it's a decent batting track, though, as Shaun said, it could be slower than last year. What could just happen is they might just want that extra bowler. So now you've got three guys who are reasonably very fast, which is Bolt, Kulkarnail, Bumrah you have. Then you have Jayant Yadav, Rahul Chahar and Kunal Pandya. They're just giving themselves that much of a little. So I don't think they'll think somebody like a Pollard is going to bowl. The pitch possibly is not playing, is not holding on that much that Pollard will bowl. They probably just wanted to strengthen their bowling. I mean, I can't think of any other reason.
Yeah, fair point. Since we told you about Kishan's numbers, and I think it'll lead us into the discussion of one player who's not playing, one who is, Kishan and Quinton de Kock, because they'd love to get some runs from Quinton de Kock. He's been prolific, but have a look at these this season for Ishan Kishan. Really, absolutely didn't even touch 30, and for Quinton de Kock, just that one innings against Hyderabad.
Yeah, I think also when you look at those facts and figures, that they tell you one part of the story, but it also goes down to how you looked for those 21 deliveries or 17 deliveries. It didn't really look like he was going to be applying pressure onto the opposition, and that sometimes is as much of a story as the actual strike rate or the runs that you've managed to accumulate. You'll be disappointed because when you come into the RPL, what you want an innings early doors. In the first 2 or 3 matches, you want to get something substantial on the board, and he managed to do that. He just hasn't followed it up with anything really to write home about. And Quinton's just had the one, but I think if we look at last year, he also got off to a really slow start, didn't he?
He did.
He was really slow to get going. There's the facts and figures. Just mention it, and out comes the graphic. 4 games, striking at not anything spectacular, averaging 12, and then he came good at the back end of the tournament. And I think because of his international pedigree, maybe the discussion of who do we leave out comes into the equation. It was always going to be a route of going down the Quinton de Kock route, knowing that he did bounce back last year, and because of the experience he does have.